This marvelous EQ can take your mix from 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. Hello, and welcome to the first demonstration of Z&H Designs. We spent 5 years working on a collection of analog pro audio gear. This has included complete redesigns of the circuits, the making of parts on our own, putting everything together by hand, and testing the prototypes in real studios with our community. Today, Z&H proudly presents to you this all-discrete HVC250 stereo parametric EQ, which is a tribute to the classic Sontec 250. It has taken over the workflow in this commercial studio that we own. According to our mixing engineers who work at this very desk, the HVC250 is the go-to EQ for sound shaping. It is precise, realistic, easy to use, and makes your track sound alive. The best thing about using the HVC250 is that it never sounds engineered. You can easily go 8 dB whilst retaining the natural sound as if it was like that originally. Well, we don't usually need to go that far, do we? I would invite anyone to try a slight shelving of 2 dB on both ends, which brings the vocal to the front, improves the overall texture of sound, and adds to the liveliness of your track. We will let you hear all that in the sound demo, but for now, let's take a closer look at the panel and the build quality, if that makes sense. Okay, there's a left channel and a right channel, and you can bypass each of them in the center of this lovely panel, where you've also got the power switch. On each channel, you are given 5 true parallel bands that won't interfere with each other. That's because we've put 14 independent high voltage op amps inside this machine. They're all discrete, which I trust can make a lot of you excited. It's the most expensive way of building it, and it does exactly what we want on this precise EQ. Within this incredible amount of op amps are the single electronic components from Nikon, Motorola, Philips, and ON. The all discrete circuit boards preserve the beauty of analog equipment, while this modern day design makes it possible to stay clean at the output. Just like how we went full analog, we've chosen to use the 56-volt linear power supply, which has been proven to work well for decades. This means we are not only spending more budget on the power supply unit, but also on the cooling system. On the one hand, it's as powerful as a tank, giving an incredible amount of details to your sound. A lot of people believe this is the secret to sounding expensive. On the other hand, a high voltage helps the HVC250 handle higher dynamic range, offering more headroom and reducing noise effectively. Back to the panel. For each band, you see the gain and cut knob at the top. The on-chart maximum is 12 dB, but the hardware is actually capable of reaching 16 dB. If 16 dB is something you need, we can customize that for you. Moving down, you've got a bypass button for the band. Because the HVC250 is a clean EQ, when you center the gain and cut knob, it will already sound bypassed. So this button will just help you compare the before and after. There's no coloring whatsoever. Further down, this frequency knob has varying ranges depending on the band. The 2 bands on the left are 15 to 800 Hz. The band in the middle is 160 to 8K Hz, and the 2 bands on the right are both 450 to 25K Hz, so they do overlap each other. At the bottom, there's the Q knob, where you have 0.67 to 4 across all the bands, except you can turn to shelf mode on the sub and air bands. You will feel a satisfying click when you switch to the shelf. We'd also like to mention that none of the knobs on this particular model are in steps, because we wanted more accuracy while listening and tweaking. If you prefer to have the steps for mastering, you could look into another model that we are expecting to release soon, which we call the MEP-250DX. Speaking of knobs, I know that knobs are everywhere, but good luck trying to find one that feels like the great vintage gear. To match our hand-build quality while keeping it commercially feasible, we ended up making our own knobs, and we are pleased to have them available for sale separately. By the way, we also cut the panel boards by ourselves. That's because improvements were made very fast in the past 5 years, and it was just a lot easier if we do it in-house. Because we take full control over the visible parts on the outside, customization becomes possible. If you need other colors to match your studio environment, you can check out our online customizer. We will put up even more options over time. So there we have it. Inside out, we make no compromise. Okay, I can't wait to show you how it sounds. Let's listen to the HVC250 in action. It rivals much more expensive EQs with great confidence. I've increased the punch and power of the kick whilst making the cymbals super bright, just like the Sontec 250 parameters. I've also reduced the mud in the snare and made the hats feel really punchy and crisp. With the high mid and low mid, I've removed any unwanted frequencies, and with the low shelf, removed any unwanted bass. Lastly, with the high shelf, I've added back some more details and clarity to the piano sound.
Raving storms, haunted valleys of our waste, bring anew the tragic tale, of a planet that is damned to be erased, of a world that's going down by virtue of a fail. Here we stand, rocking gently with our hips to perdition's oratorio, to the rhythm of our self-imposed apocalypse, till it's time for letting go. Why did we not stop to spoil our stinted seed and claim its fruit? Not conclude that this would be the future soul for humanity, but we might still stop demise, still fend our fate.
Similar to the piano, using the low shelf, low mid and high mid, we're removing any unwanted frequencies, and with the high shelf, we're adding more air to the sound. With the low shelf, we've made the bass extra bouncy, and with the high shelf, we've added motion and liveliness to it. And lastly, with the high mid, we've added some more details to the bass. By increasing the low shelf, we've added extra power to the kick, and by adding 4 dB to the high shelf, we've brought out the subtleties in the drums. Lastly, by bringing the high mids up by 6 dB, we've brought out the rhythm of the guitar.
Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo a perderte, perderte después. Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo a perderte, perderte después. Quiero tenerte muy cerca, mirarme en tus ojos, verte junto a mí. Piensa que tal vez mañana yo ya estaré lejos, muy lejos de ti. Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última.
If you are worried about sound being compressed on social media, we have the original audio available on our website, where you can find other details about this must-have EQ in your studio, and check out other models that are coming soon. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.